this midterm project. I'm going to start by selecting one of these card items. So I'm going to select gray. We see that it takes us to the item display page. From here, we can click on one of these names to perform another search. And then we can search here. We can see if we do garbage, we're not going to get a result. We can go like this. We can see it matches both the name and the description, and we also will match the month. So if I did something like that, we see we get some months that pop up. So maybe I'll select car now. From here, maybe we want to search there. Cool, we can jump around a little bit. You know, maybe I want to end up with Blaze. So we'll select Blaze, and then I want to edit some information for him. I can go like this. I'm gonna actually cancel and finish and submit that. And we see that those changes are reflected in this new ID page. We can also add some data. So maybe I'll go like this and I'll fill out this form. We see it actually does some error checking for the type of input as well. So if we enter a string, it's not going to let us do that. We'll actually want to enter an integer. And there we go. We see we added this new item right here. Jump back to the home page right there. We can open DevTools. Let's look at some of these images. And we see that the alt text is kind of as we would expect. It's just a description of the image, image of Dylan the man, as expected, image of gray. And so we do have alt text for those images as well. A little bit of conceptual grouping. We have kind of the key information right here. Kind of the most important thing is going to be this average spend per view, and so that's really bolded. We have some white space just to kind of separate this out. Similar right here, we have kind of this main context for the page description right here, as well as some engaging images and stuff to get the user started and searching around the database right there. Have this color scheme of this green and this orange brown is the pop color. We have a light gray as the background and a dark gray for the searches. And we do some dynamic, just kind of size increases on hover as well. Jumping into the code a little bit, the main things that we had to add were the add item endpoint and the edit item endpoint. They both work in very similar ways, where conceptually all we're doing is we have this form that the user fills out. Every time they press submit, we send a post request to this endpoint. And what that does is it checks all of the inputs and it makes sure that if it's a number, it's actually a number, and if it's supposed to be anything else, that it's not blank. If there is an error, it'll populate the error field, and then we display it right here, obviously just with like an error class, and we just populate the value for each of these subclasses. And so the edit item page actually works in a very similar way as well, where if you go to edit, the key difference is this just kind of pre-populates some of this stuff. And the way that we do that, actually we send the get request. And so what we do is we render the template with the items as well. And so if we jump to the edit item right here, we see that we actually pre-populate all of this. And so those just get pre-populated like that. One more thing that I thought was kind of cool is we added a couple endpoints for this highlighting and this linking of associates. For the highlighting, we use this in search. So like when we search for something, it highlights the common substring. And so pretty much the way that we do this here, we render the search results.html, and then here we highlight that query. And so we just pass it to the endpoint, we highlight the substrings that match it, and then that's what gets returned, and we use that right there. And then very similarly for the linkage, for when we link associates, we link all of the names, do that with the view item right here. We call that link associates right there, and then pretty much that just replaces all of the substrings that match the name with the link to that search page as well.